Welcome back to the Jack and Flash Show right here on SEN Hobart. Thanks to Harrison Agents, Tasmanian real estate experts. We're in, Flash, somehow we're in the Harrison Agents office here and recording the show. The heater's gone off. It was hot before for people out there. This is the hottest place on earth, Harrison Agents. I got here. You had to take every item of clothing off. It was so hot up here in the little loft apartment they've got here.
Worn after being in Nutgrove Beach this morning at 5:30.
You got a text, have you?
I've just got a quick one here. Head has to be in the team in front of Madison. Let this hate for South Australian cricketers go. Mike from Woodville.
Woodville.
So there you go. He's not happy with that. It's
not
a tight duel.
Not for mine.
Footy time, I reckon.
Footy time, and the draft is rolling around. It's only a few days away, and of course the SEN draft analyst, Matty Rendell. He's the man that knows everything happening in the draft. He picks the eyes out of it, and he's got a few sources in clubland out there that he finds his material from. But Matty joins us on the line. Matty, welcome to the Jack and Flash Show. How are we?
Oh, Jack and Flash. How you going, fellas? What an appropriate song that is. I don't know if you knew Jack. Flash used to do a bit of part-time recruiting for Collingwood, we've met up quite a few times over the years. And before I start, Jack, I have to tell you that your dad was an a-hole.
My dad? Really?
Yeah,
I like hearing this. Let's start, okay? So you obviously have crossed paths, have you, on the field?
You would have been a youngster, Jack, when Fitzroy played combined Tassie team down there in a practice game. And he tried to kill me the whole day, your dad. Said he could try to knock my block off. Oh, God, I need this like I need a hole in the head. But it was an interesting day. I can't even... I think we got up, but it was an interesting contest. He was flat out from going away, your dad.
Yeah, he was. He was a very good player. He played 296 games for Clarence Footy Club, my old man.
He was as tough as teak. He was.
He will be basking in the glory because he listens every week, and he's down at Carlton Beach at the moment down here, and he will be basking in the glory that you've given him mention. And I have never, Matty, I know you've mentioned off the top that our man Flash has done some work for Collingwood Football Club, where you obviously were involved in for a while there. He absolutely perked up as soon as you mentioned that, because his greatest claim to fame, Flash, your greatest claim to fame is that you declared Ben Brown.
Well, I did. Yes, I did. And from memory, actually, Matty, good to hear your voice, mate. And I was in those meetings, and as the biggest Swan supporter in Australia, when Jesse White became the decision that year, I curdled a little bit in my tummy because I watched every minute of Jesse White's footy, and he actually had a year at Collingwood. He was okay, in fairness to him.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my memories. Ben Brown, he's had a good career, and he's a...
Yeah, we let him go through to the keeper, Flash.
That's okay, that happens.
Talk to us about this year's draft, Matty. It really is there's been compromised drafts with the Gold Coast Suns and obviously GWS coming in and having a whole horde of picks. But this is compromised for a different reason. The COVID years, and we experienced a little bit last year, but a lot of these kids haven't played footy, and a lot of draft recruiters haven't seen them. Is it the biggest stumbling block?
It's about 60% roughly get picked out of Victoria every year of the draft. And these Victorian kids have played roughly an average of 6.7 games over 2 years. In the NAB. So they've played a bit of college and that, or a bit of school footy, but it's really hard to rate them off the school footy because the back end of, the bottom 10 players really are just playing for a bit of fun. So it's really hard to pick the eyes out of a school footy game, but certainly the NAB it's the best comp in Australia by panels, really. Great competition, great lead into AFL. And they've played an average of 6.7, and two of the blokes I had pretty high 2 years ago, which is a long time ago. When you're recruiting in Chester and Sin, they've played about 5 games between them over 2 years. So there's going to be some leap of faith here, Jack, and I think there's only going to be about 55 picked again. So what happened last year? There was roughly about 54, 55 because it's just lack of viewing. They didn't play at all last year. The Victorian kids, that is. And it probably was no surprise it was 20-odd kids picked up in the mid-season draft. And I think you'll get the exact same thing this year, about the same number of picks. And you might have a bumper crop in the mid-season draft. I think every club will keep at least one spot open for the mid-season draft this year.
Matty, how do we separate? How do we separate at the top? I've heard of, obviously, your comments about Horn Francis. We know all about your love for Nick Dacos, and I think that's absolutely across the board. Darcy etc., and then you go down the order. Break it down for us briefly. Give us the three guys, whether they're those couple you've mentioned or a couple later, perhaps in the first round or even second round, that really excites you. Then maybe one that we haven't talked about as much as, I guess, on the radio, on the TV of recent times. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, Flash, I'm not across it as much as I was last year, because I haven't seen any of these kids play for 2 years, except I watched Horn Francis play on digital pass in the finals for South Adelaide, where he was outstanding. So he's just confirmed he'll go number one, especially that last game. We basically carried him on the back. The real interest around here, so Mac Andrews come from nowhere. So the Sudanese kid, who was an NGA for Melbourne. And until they changed the rules, where if an NGA kid gets picked inside 20, you take that kid. The club can't get him under the bidding system. So he'll definitely go inside the top 10. Now, we've heard that GWS are very keen at that pick too. So we're thinking it'll go like Horn Francis at 1, and then GWS will nominate Darcy and then Dacos, is what we're hearing. Mainly because GWS are after a tall more than a mid, so they're going on that basis. And then we heard that they were going to take Mac Andrew with the second line pick, but the player that's come from, who didn't even play 16s fighting, in fact he couldn't make the team in the championship team, Victorian team back in the 16s, is Finn Callaghan. So everyone up the top is clamouring for Finn Callaghan, and I don't know where GWS sit with Andrew or Callaghan, but I know Hawthorn and Crows at 4 and 5 will want to take Callaghan. I'm thinking Gold Coast Suns at 3 will want to take him as well. So they'll get first. Well, obviously GWS get first dibs, but if they go Mac Andrew, Gold Coast Suns will take Finn Callaghan. He's been the massive mover from the start of the year. I think Josh Kelly from GWS, but with more dash, actually. Run and carry, speed.
Tall enough, isn't he?
Wow, more dash.
Yes, exactly. So I think Finn Callaghan around that as a player. So Josh Kelly went 2 in his draft year. Look at this kid's going to be a star. So outside of that, the interest in that is that can Adelaide and Hawthorn push up to trade for GWS's 2? If GWS are still going down the Mac Andrew line, whether they're happy to push back to 4 or 5, knowing they'll still get Mac Andrew, but they'll get something in the trade. That'll be the big watch on the first night after North call Horn Francis. If there's a pause for that second pick around GWS, watch for that. Gold Coast Suns very keen on Finn Callaghan as well, and they might try and trump it. They'll have a plan in place just in case. They're only having the 1 pick, Gold Coast Suns, because of spaces available on their list. So that'll be the interest. And then the next bit of interest will be around what Freo will do at 6 and 8. Now, there's 2 very good kids who did not even play 16s as well, which I haven't seen them play. A Miss and Erasmus, both WA kids. The other one there is Van Ruin, who I did see play and I really liked in the 16s. And apparently he's got better and better. So, and had a pretty good carnival, especially against South Australia. So they've got 3 kids there, and they've got 6 and 8. They'll be keeping those picks, and I think they'll go local. They'll take the South Australian, the WA's kids. Other than that, there's players like Naziah Wanganeen-Malera. He didn't play either in the 16s. He's rocketed from nowhere. Ben Hobbs, who I did like, is as tough as inside mid as you'll ever see. And they're talking about him going top 10 too, so someone will be really keen on that inside mid. So it's an intriguing draft from probably not the top 10. So the top 10, I think most clubs will be settled what's going to happen, what the top 10 will be. But the real interest comes in 10 to 20, because there'll be some players there that clubs will love and they'll want to push up. So your club, Jack, is in the wheelhouse to do that. So
plenty
Richmond
of picks, Matty. Plenty of picks.
26, 27, 28. Oh, they're going to use that 15, 26, 27, 28 to try and push up if there's a player they really like who's still there. So
Yep.
well,
Matty, we've got to let you go because we are running out of time. And it certainly is. It's coming up that we've got a lot of draft picks, Richmond, and watch this space. We appreciate you joining us. And like you said, a lot of clubs are going into this draft period. And
yep.
I think after the top 10, as you mentioned, we'll all be guessing. So thanks for joining us, mate. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jack. Flash. See you.
Good on you, Matty.
There you go. I'm looking forward to hearing what people off the text line want to say in terms of who they want to be picked. We've got a couple of texts through. We'll read them out. This one off the text line, we didn't get a chance to ask Matty Rendell about this young Sam Banks, who was the captain of the Tasmania team. Predicted it going in the sort of second or third round flash.
Mid-30s, maybe?
Yeah, mid-30s.
Yep.
This one comes from
Beautiful
Harry in
user.
Acton Park. I hope Sam Banks ends up at my beloved Hawthorn. So hopefully we've got 3 possibles, I think, in the draft for Tasmania. So hopefully we can have
a beautiful kick, Sam Banks.
He's a beautiful kick, isn't he?
He's a general, that's for sure.
We've got a big second hour coming up right here on SEN. Don't forget you can join us 0437 552 535. Join us here right on SEN Hobart. This is Jack and Flash. We'll see you after the news.